All right, I'm gonna put little battens, is what they're called. It's just basically little pieces of board that kind of lift it up off of the woohoo. They kind of lift it up off of the ground or the floor. Say if you were like working in a shop that had a cement floor, that kind of deal, so that that ain't working. So that the floor of the toolbox won't rot over time, but these battens would rot, which is why you see me not using any kind of glue, so that I can take these off if I need to. Now they're not perfectly sized. I'll have to saw a little bit off here and then plane it just like I planed the bottom, which is not an issue. I want it that way so that the fit is good. And I can remove these. I don't think I'm going to need them. I don't think they're going to matter. This is going to sit out here on that little workmate table, and it's going to sit out here, or it's going to sit in my house on the floor. There won't be anything like that. But what I'm going to do, I have this little strip here, and I can either run that there, or I could do something like this. I don't know that it matters. I'm looking for whatever's gonna be most convenient. I'm just looking for pieces of wood that I can use. So let's see, let's put that like that. It's, you know, I'm just using scraps basically. And the skirting that goes around this, I'm not quite sure. I know I've seen them nail it to the sides of the box. I think the idea is that if you nail it, you can remove it, that kind of thing. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna do is glue it. And I'm not using nails on it. I'm not using screws on it or anything of the sort. I do believe nailing or screwing or gluing rather will be more than enough, more than sufficient. We'll see. I'm still kind of debating. I'm sinking these just a little. I don't want to sink them too much because I don't want them coming through the bottom. And we'll see that here in a minute whether or not I had anything like that occur. We're not planing these or anything except for around the edges in order to conform them to the sides of the box. This is a Japanese tile saw that I bought from Harbor Freight when I had a flotation with these saws, and I soon found out that I don't like them. Everybody else can have their own opinion. I'm not telling you what to do. People say this is natural and all that. It hurts my arthritis like a son of a gun, and I absolutely will pass. A Western style saw handle. For me, it's superior. And I'll pass on any of the Japanese saws, but these are good for flush cutting. These Ryobis, in my opinion, excel at that, so I keep it around. And if I'm going somewhere, if I'm ever going somewhere, which I never am, but if I'm ever going somewhere where I need to take a saw, and I don't want to take one of my Western saws with me, because my Western saws I have rehabbed and spent a lot of time getting them where it is that I want them, and I don't want them damaged. might take something like this, but yeah. All right. I want to cut this like if I was smoothing. Because I'm dealing with end grain. Don't need to worry about any of that. Blowout is not something that I'm worried about at all. It will be covered up. You won't ever see it. So, don't care. All right, good deal. I don't know if that's enough or not, or too much, or whatnot. Don't have a clue. Don't care. At this point, we're just gonna slather some glue on. I don't want it dripping into my tool. So let's go like this. I'm gonna put some glue on there. And put it on here. Line it up. Sorry, thing. I'm lining it up with a line that I marked. Earlier, if you remember. Sorry. All right. That's one. Now, none of these measurements are anything at all like what was in the book or anything of the sort. This is not, this was my I need to put a few more here so that this thing doesn't move. And I'm going to try to get this out. really careful. I don't want to break a dovetail, snap a pin, or anything of the sort after I've got all this the way I think it should be. Gonna need more glue before I start any more projects. That's okay. Sorry, I needed to get that glue off my hands. I don't want it all over this. I don't want glue all over my tools. I've been stepping over my all over my clamps in the dirt, but oh well. Can't do anything about it. Lovely squeeze out. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So that's the skirting, the dust seal. The lid will clamp down all that. I will bevel this top a bit so that the lid closes on it. Well, now what I want to do is I want to look at this one. This is going to be the skirt on the bottom. Actually, I want to look at the square first. That's pretty freaking square. What about this side? It's out just a hair. But this is pretty freaking square. So I'm going to go down the center on this one for a bit. And that is against the grain. You can hear against the grain. If you pay attention to the sound a plane is making, actually, in actuality, I think, that I was wrong, and I believe this, so I don't know what I was hearing, but I think this is with the grain. I don't really need the top edge square because I'm going to put a sort of 45-degree bevel in that. It's whatever I can get. I saw the guy that I saw building this, and I don't know what Schwartz or Schwarz or however you pronounce the guy's name. The one that repopularized this English tool chest and called it an anarchist tool chest. Gave it a new name, but that's all this is an English tool chest. Okay, I don't know what he did, but the guy that, or what he recommends in the book, like I said, I have the book, but I don't pay a lot of attention to the book. I just sort of skimmed it. Why? Because I prefer to do things my own way and make things sort of how I want them to be. Trying to put my own, so I don't never do anything exactly the way. If I do a project that someone else here on YouTube why is that like that? There's something. Got a little nub there I want to get rid of. Anyway, if I do a project that is basically something someone else is doing or something similar to anything someone else is doing, I'm never going to do it exactly like that, because that wouldn't be me. That would be their stuff. And as much as I appreciate what other woodworkers do, and I may emulate them to some degree, there'll be something of me in what it is that I'm doing, just simply because that's because I'm doing it and not somebody else. And I'm going to look at what they're doing. And I mean, if I build something exactly the way someone else did it, it's because I thought that was the best way for me to do that. But most of the time, what's going to happen is I'm going to build, there we go, beautiful, sort of how I think it should look, and I'm not really, or that I think it should be built, and I'm not really beautiful. I'm not really worried about whether or not someone else did it this way or why they did it that way. As long as what I'm doing makes sense to me, then I'm good to go. So I need to make 2 of these and 2 of these, and we'll be back. All right. Time to glue up the bottom skirting. I'm gonna put these together first, and then I'll glue it to the toolbox proper. But this right here, I want to do first, and I'm going to have to take it completely apart in order to do it because so that's all right. All right, got that one. You have to excuse me if you can't see this. All that great. This is glue up, and the glue up. The most important thing is I get it glued up right. After that, then we can worry about everything else. But what I'm going to do is spread some glue and use the glue spreader that the good Lord gave me, because it's the best, as Cricket Green would say. Yeah, I watch the Greens. Yeah, it's a children's cartoon. You're missing out if you ain't watching the Greens. Just saying. They're the best. One of the things I love about a dovetail is most of the time, if you get the dovetail right, the thing is going to be square. It just is. There's exceptions to that. I've had them that weren't. Out of glue almost. Ooh, that's good. Not bad. I mean, that's not good. But anyway, I've had them that weren't. But most of the time, if you get the dovetail right, those shoulders tend to help keep the thing square. I always check, but yeah. So what this will do is it will cover up that batten, those battens. And I got it on this cardboard because I do not want it ruined to my bench. It's just not something I desire to happen. Do that. And what I'll do most likely is lift this off of here and try to I don't like that. Let's back that off of here. Tighten that up. And what I want to do well, that ain't gonna, well, it might. Trying to use this stick or piece of wood, beam, whatever you want to call it, to put pressure, try that right there, along the length of this so that it will tighten up against the side walls of the chest so that I can get clamping pressure there. And that's pretty good. Might put another here. I'm just trying to pull everything as tight as I can possibly get it. And I know that I'm running around and part of what I'm doing is kind of blocking what's going on. Not a whole lot I can do about that. Will that do that? No, it won't. That's all right. Let me see. So I'm going to have to look for something else. And there's something else that I'm looking for. If I can find it. Finding a piece of scratch down here that'll do what I want it to do. Hummer. This side over here is pulling tight, but right here, this side is not. So I'm going to wedge that. Like that. So that it does. That's the way that's going to work. All right. That will sit in clamps for a couple hours. Then I can move it indoors. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.